Hello there! Today I'm gonna tell you about my creative process, the same one that I'm explaining in the Creative Ambush, my book. So this is my creative process, the one that I use both for personal projects, so if I have to write a novel, let's say, but also for projects for my company or for other clients. So this is what I usually do and the phases and the steps that I follow for any kind of project. It's not a universal creative process, so you can do whatever you want, there is no right or wrong. I'm hoping that this will inspire you to create your own creative process. You can dismantle mine, break it apart, destroy it to create yours. It's fine, completely fine. This is just to give you an idea. So usually I always imagine a big ball, over me. That's like the intuition phase. So here comes intuitions, ideas from I don't know where. So the first step, I collect a lot of ideas, intuitions, suggestions, things that come from another reality, okay, wherever. Then I decide to take action, okay. I decide that it's like, when you do this movement, I decide that I take one idea, one intuition, and I start working on that. Okay, this movement, it's the difference that I usually talk about our feminine and masculine sides. I'm not talking about females and males, no, only what's inside of us. So two sides that we all have. One side, the feminine, is more free, intuitive, it's open, it's deeper. The other one, the masculine side, is more rational, more disciplined, okay, more stubborn also. If you're not, if you don't like to talk about masculine and feminine side, you can talk about your rational and irrational side, your disciplined and your free side. Okay, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, I don't really care. It's important that for your evolution, you realize that you have different parts inside of you, and they can work together. Okay, so the thing is, if you are too strong with your feminine side, okay, then you are just collecting a lot of intuitions, collecting a lot of ideas. You are super full of ideas. You are, wow, I have an idea for an app, blah, blah, blah. But then you never create anything because your masculine side is too weak. So you cannot decide, okay, I'm gonna pick this one and I'm gonna bring it down. Okay. So on the contrary, if your masculine side is too strong, what happens is that you are super methodic, you are very disciplined, but then you don't have so many ideas. So that's pretty difficult because it's like, yeah, I know what to do, I'm super, but where are the ideas? Okay, so they need to work together. You need to be open, and then you need to take action at some point. How do you take action? Deciding, now I'm gonna work with on this idea. Oh, I have several intuitions. This idea for a screenplay. I love that. Today's the day I'm gonna start working on that. Okay, so I don't know where the intuition came from, but I know that today I'm gonna start working on that. Feminine, I'm open, irrational, don't know where it comes from, and then masculine, rational, disciplined, boom, I start working on that. Then there is the evaluation phase for me. So it's a step where I decide to evaluate that idea. Is this idea only for me or is it for somebody else? So let's say I'm gonna write a novel. Is the novel just for me or does it have a market? Okay, so if I'm Stephen King, I know that if I write a new novel, it's just gonna generate value. So it's for me, but it's also useful somehow. If I'm creating a new product for my company, I know that it's gonna be published immediately. I'm gonna publish it, and it's gonna generate value for the company and for the customers. If I'm writing a fantasy novel in Italy, where basically nobody publishes fantasy novels, okay, it's gonna be more difficult. So it's just to be aware. Is it just for me? I'm investing my energy for me or for generating something? So there is no right or wrong, and I'm super. I'm very pro for very risky businesses, no, very risky ideas. So I'm always writing novels that I'm just for myself, and I believe someday they're gonna work somehow. But the thing is, it's important to be aware. So at least you know that you are investing your energy properly, or you know that it's just risky and you are not believing in weird fantasies. No? So it's just important the evaluation phase to understand, okay, is it risky or not? And if it's risky, I'm gonna do it anyway, okay? But at least you know that you are being very courageous, and that's important. That I also like very much, to be courageous about projects. Then the research. So comes the idea, you decide to take action, then you evaluate if it's risky or not, and then you decide if you need some research for that idea or not. So let's say I'm writing a new book about creativity. Do I need to read other books? Do I need to talk to experts? I'm creating a new app for home fitness. Do I need to check different apps, or I already know everything about it? So it's important to know if you need to put things inside, okay? That means benchmark on other companies, on other projects, on other products. It means skills. It means everything that can happen, that can help you to work on your project. You can also decide that you don't need it. For instance, when I wrote The Creative Ambush, I precisely decided that I wanted just to base everything on my creative experience. So I decided not to read other, let's say, competitor books. But that's like, it's just a choice. It's important that you make that choice. Then there is the synthesis step. So you got the idea, you go to action, so you decide to work on an idea, you evaluate, is it fine, makes sense? Yes. Then you move to the research, you put things. At that point, you make a synthesis. So you need to decide what is your road, what is your path, okay? So if I'm creating a tool for storytelling, I'm not just placing everything inside and it's okay, it's casual. No, you need to have a take on that. So what's storytelling for you? Why did you make it like that? Why did you write that book that way? What's your take on that subject? Okay, you need to have that. That's like you can say the project choice. Okay, that's if a client comes to you and is asking, why did you make it like that? You need to have an answer. Okay, so what's your take? It's important because if you can't find the synthesis, then you're doing it in a chaotic way, and then you allow chaos in your project. So it's better to have a synthesis for me. And then you go to development. So at that point, you just go to the development phase. Development is the more straightforward phase. You basically just sit on your desk and you work on the thing. Okay. So what can happen here is that you can have some process problems. That's interesting to go through. So the first one, if too much time passes between intuition and action. Okay, so too much time here. Again, the feminine is too strong. So it's important that you realize that and you feel like, okay, too many ideas, too much. I need to, let's just choose one and then we try, okay? That's a way, that's a way. The other problem is if you go too fast from the intuition to action. So it's like, okay, the first idea I got, okay, wow, that's good. That's very risky, especially when you're working with a client. I see that I saw that in a lot of arrogant people. Okay, so it's just, yeah, I got an idea, it's genial, let's go with that. There is nothing wrong, okay, but it has to be genial, okay? So it's like, yeah, you are so arrogant that you believe you got the first idea right, okay, but then that idea, it must be boom, you know, a bomb. If it isn't, okay, you cannot sustain your arrogance. That's bad, no? If you're not able to do the evaluation phase, okay, that's problematic. I mean, you need to be aware of the way that you are using your energy. So just try to stay very grounded and feel like, okay, I'm gonna write a new book on creativity. Is it, I mean, does it make sense or not? I'm gonna create a new product for microphone. Okay, does it make sense or not? If you cannot do the evaluation phase, maybe you can ask somebody else to help you. Okay, but it's important that you stay very grounded and you are aware of how you are investing your energy. Then trouble with research. Okay, if you are not able to do research, learn how to do research. Okay, that's just, you start Googling. Okay, not so difficult. If you have problems with research because you have the fear of not being original enough, if you take from other sources, okay, get rid of that idea. That's bias. It doesn't make any sense. What is originality? Okay, so it's like a philosophical question. It's very important that you feed yourself. It's nutrition. You feed yourself with things from outside. It's like, wow, I love that. I love that idea. I love how they make that. And you get whatever you can. And you try to re-elaborate, you are going to have ideas, and that's going to be original. So don't limit yourself with that idea of I want to be original, so I'm just shutting myself and I'm never gonna research anything. Then if you have problems with the synthesis, okay, that's you need to you really need to focus on how you wanna work on your project. So you need a take on what you're doing. Otherwise, really, it's gonna be chaotic. So be very, very aware that if you have a problem with the synthesis, you need to give it a break, to have a walk, and to really go deeper in the subject. If you have problems with development, it's not so problematic. The thing is, when you have problems with your masculine side, it's always easier because you just have to force yourself. I know that it's for some people it's not that easy, but basically if you have a problem with the development, you just need to force yourself to the seat and to calm down, to tell yourself it's normal, everybody have difficulties with discipline, and just be disciplined. I mean, if you want to go run every day, you just go out and run. Okay, So there aren't so many other, solutions. If you have problems with ideas, so if ideas don't arrive, okay, that's a much bigger problem. So I always leave this at the end, because having a problem with discipline is nothing compared with the bowl is empty. Okay, so you need to be open. Okay, very open. You need to believe in another reality where ideas can come. So try to open yourself to dreams, to your intuition, and realize that you need to have a lot of respect for your feminine side. That's why I always leave this at the end, because if you have, you need to respect your masculine side, so discipline is important, but then what is irrational, what is more free, is so deeper that you really need to say, wow, okay, I'm gonna open up to that. So, to just make a small recap, intuition, you get a lot of ideas, hopefully, then you choose one. At that point, you evaluate if it makes sense for you to pursue that one. Then you decide if you want to add things with the research. At that point, you make a synthesis, and then the development, and you go grounded. Tell me what you think about this creative process. You can write it down in the comments. You can tell me it sucks. It's fine. We're gonna open a discussion. So it's interesting. You can tell about your creative process, so how you approach projects. And let's open up a discussion about this. So happy projects to everybody. Happy creativity. Ciao.